Welcome once again to Potter's Media. After a long while, I have not actually done a video like this. If you have been following this channel, you must have discovered that I've been doing some sort voiceover, and that is because I have been quite busy. Yes, apart from this YouTube, I also have a secular job which I do. And yes, this is me again. I'm live, and today we want to consider a topic which I considered might be somewhat controversial because of the fact that we have the different mix of people in the church. We have some of these bubbling people that loves to groove in the church, and I saw a video, or should I say a friend of mine sent me a video on my WhatsApp that got trending on Facebook, and he asked of my opinion, so I decided to bring it up here. Some time ago, Tokpe Alabi got trending because of the dance step which she exhibited, and in that dance step some people were like, come on, this is more like a dance step that was borrowed from a secular musician. People at that time, we got a whole lot of reactions. People were against her, and people were, come on, she was just dancing to our God. And this time around, this video which I want you to see is somewhat related to what happened in the case of Tokpe Alabi, only that a Christian leader, speaking of the person of Reverend Tolu Agboola, weighed his own opinion concerning that, and this time around he brought something he considered a prophetic warning in the church. I want you to look into this dance step, and I want to hear what is your opinion. What do you think concerning this dance step being exhibited in the church? I want to hear your sincere opinion. Please make use of the comment section, and please be modest on the comment section. Let's just see that dance step, and then when we come back, we'll consider the accompanying post, which is the main subject of the reason why I will decide to do this video. So let's see that dance. Mofo Fire is a song adapted from one of Naira Marley grooves that was done by psalmist Nefemi. Psalmist Nefemi is an acclaimed gospel musician, but when you get to hear this song and dance to this song, what comes to your mind? I want you to ask yourself that question. When you hear this song and dance to the rhythms of this song in the church, considering the fact that it was adapted from one of Naira Marley many grooves, what comes to your mind? What do people associate this beating to? Of course, your guess is as good as mine. In the post which the person of Reverend Tolu Agboola actually posted on a Facebook, he was able to point out some key things. I will be reading that post shortly. I will be looking at that post, but in that post he was able to point out, he shared a vision which he had long time ago, I think about 23 years ago. In that vision, he said God showed him a particular kind of dance step, and God told him that this dance step will be a sign that we herald false doctrine in the church. Mark this word, that this dance step will be a sign that we herald false doctrine in the church. And of course, if you have been following us on this channel, you will understand that we love to discuss issues that has to do with doctrine. So when I saw this, I was interested in it. So because of what was said, we got to see a whole lot of reactions of people on his Facebook post. People were like, come on, this is just a mere dance, and you cannot say because of this dance, you cannot demonize this dance. You cannot say this dance is not. You cannot say this dance is not a holy dance step, concerning the fact that these things were done in the church, and these are people that are just praising their God. And do you think the subtlety which we have been experiencing, whereby we see the ways of the world or the secular inspirations being filtered into the church, do you think it's something we should look at and just allow it slide or something we should frown at. Okay, so let's read the posts. All right, so on the post it said, and this post was done on the April 27th. It said, the dances are here. When on the 8th of July 2000, the Lord walked into my vision as a final year secondary school boy. He took me on a 7-day vision of the future of the church. I became a custodian of many things that I hoped would never happen. It was a revelation of his plans, the plans of the enemy, and the shape of the church as the end approaches. These visions played back exactly how he showed them, and I have been privileged to share them many times as they are fresh in my heart, as though I had the vision this morning. Currently, we are on the Sunday morning in the vision. The Lord showed me a Sunday service now is relating the experience of the vision, a Sunday service that are taking on the shape of Thursday experience, which was a day of insufficient discerning capacity. The Sunday service vision began with a kind of praise and worship section. It gave off a type of dance and a type of sound. Note these two words, a type of dance and a type, note these two keywords, a type of dance and a type of sound. This was followed by the advent of erroneous doctrine. So what this means is that this dance step, when he saw it being exhibited in the church, this dance step and this song, when he saw it being displayed in the church, was followed by a time of erroneous doctrine. All right, surprisingly, this dance I saw and the blasphemous utterances I heard were the part of these visions that I found so hard to believe. Well, the dances and the praise sessions are here. I saw them 23 years ago. I saw them 23 years ago. Advertisement of a day of no discernment, a day of deliberate embraced corruption. I was not the only one who saw them. For Mount Zion Faith Ministries saw them too, and acted by prophecy, Dr. D.K. Olukoya too, in that landmark sermon. Okay, so there are 3 witnesses to this his vision. Tolu Agboola is one of the person that saw the vision. Then Mount Zion Faith Ministries, which are known for their so many gospel source, for their so many Christian movie. And the 3rd witness is Dr. D.K. Olukoya. All right, in that landmark sermon, we prayed it will never come, but the dances are here. This cry is to announce that these sounds and dance will open a massive gate of doctrinal error. For in that vision, both realities were designed by the enemy to thrive on insufficient discerning capacity. Let the remnant company find their manuals of accuracy, for the day of deception is come. Elders, fathers, mentors, please do not watch a generation waste in the bid to elongate denominational life. We may succeed in keeping them in the denomination, but in a rotten state. Of course, young people always want to react to things like this. People were on the comment section, expressing their views and their opinion, why they think, come on, these people are dancing to the Lord, and there is no vulgar word in that song. And of the truth, if you listen to that song, you can't actually find any vulgar word, anything that suggests praising the devil, or anything of that kind that can raise an eyebrow. But then I think the main important thing for me here is the fact that it was adapted from a song or a beat that has some similarity with what Naira Marley actually did. So this is just more like remixing Naira Marley's song in a different version, adding some different lyrics, and well, for those who don't know, Mofo Fire means I jump, the jump of joy. So clearly there is nothing so wrong in the lyric. And in my response to the person that sent me this video, I just want to share what I said to him And then I just want to share what I shared with that person on the WhatsApp, and I also want to hear your opinion. First of all, I said, well, he said, because there are two things which we have to consider. First of all, is the person talking about this vision, okay, and what he said in that vision. So we want to x-ray the vision, and the next thing again is for us to x-ray the song. First of all, in the vision, he said this is a vision God showed to him. So we are not there with him. The best we can do is to actually look at the warnings that are contained in that vision. And I asked this person this question, which I'm asking every one of you, is this: if, for instance, we decide to just speak against this thing or condemn this kind of dance in the church, do we stand to lose anything at all? I mean, if we advise people to desist from this kind of dance, or to innovate in such a way that we don't have to copy the secular ways of lifestyle, bringing it into the church, is it going to affect the way we praise God? I mean, in order for safety, if we decide to speak up against it and advise against such kind of innovations in the church, do you think it will stop the way we worship God? Okay, and do you also think it will affect the way God sees us? Now, what if we decide to say there's nothing wrong in all this thing, and we decide to not adhere to the warnings that might be contained in this vision? Now, I understand not everybody believes Tolu Agboola. Of course, I know not everybody believes him. He has his own audience. He has people that listen to him. But then, when we see this kind of warning coming up from Christian leader, and we decide to play deaf ear, what if these visions or this warning are actually true from God? Do you think we can lost? Do you think we are going to lose? Do you think we actually lost a lot of ground by just allowing such kind of doctrine to permeate into the church because of the name of accepting people the way they are, and because of that we allow just any kind of thing to find its way in the church? Don't you think we will stand to lose a lot in terms of territory, in terms of morality, in terms of precept, in terms of the way which we even perceive our worship to God? And speaking of erroneous doctrine, if you have been following this channel, you understand that we have been speaking up against it, and it looks as if there has been a rise of the false prophetic. So one thing you understand, one thing you should know is that something we have to understand is that God speaks in sign. Talking of how God gave us signs to look out for to end time. He said, when you hear wars, when you hear news of war, nation rising against nation, when you hear news of disease, this is a sign that the end time is near. So when a prophet comes up to say the Lord has showed him a dance step, that when we start seeing this dance step in the church, this kind of song and this kind of dance step in the church, it means erroneous, the reign of erroneous doctrine is about to hit the church. And if you are somewhat discerning, you will have understand that yes, there are numerous kind of false doctrine, especially in the aspect of the prophetic. We've got to see a lot of doctrinal division, talking about miracle money. I always want to use that instance of miracle money because it was one of the major things that made a major lot of wave in the Christian space, especially in Nigeria. And I also spoke up against some kind of practice of clay pots, breaking of clay pots in the church. So there are so many doctrine that are being perpetrated that people will consider the prophetic nation or prophetic inclined, that have been finding its way in the church. So when a prophet comes up and say, when we begin to see this dance step there, it means the reign of erroneous doctrine is about to take a toll in the church. I think it's not the time for us to begin to debate whether it is true or right or wrong or anything of that sort, but rather let's just call a spade and ask ourselves this question: if we don't dance this dance step, or if we discourage people from copying the standard of the world, are we going to lose anything? And what if we decide to ignore these warnings? Don't you think the danger it will cause to the body of Christ will be massive? please leave your comments. Please leave your comments on the comment section. Please be modest. And I can tell you, I listen to it all and I respond. And from me to you, this is Potter's Media. I say peace.